In this video, we're going to go into more detail about strings. So, it's very common for programs to perform operations on strings. There are many ways to manipulate strings in Python. Strings are sequences just like everything else, so a lot of the tools that work with sequences work on strings. So for example, to access the individual characters in a string, you can use a for loop for character in string, and we can iterate over each character. We can also index each character by putting a bracket next to it and saying index at character I. Okay, so let's show a quick example of this. So for a simple demonstration of this, let's define a string. Say, name equals shown in, right? And then from here, we can say print name sub 4, and that will print out the fourth character starting from 0 of the name. So if we run it, we'll notice that I accidentally put in an extra quote in there. Okay, so again, if we run it, what's the problem here? Oh, I gotta save it. Run it, we get Y, which is the 0, 1, 2, 3, fourth character. Okay, so now we can also do something like this. For I in range, 0, I, print name sub I. Right. Let's print that. And then we get my name printed out like that. Okay, or we can do like a for each style loop. We can say for x in name, print x. And, oops, did I hit? Oh, I didn't save. Okay, and now you notice it prints both times. So that's how we can access individual parts of the string. So here's another way to look at it, is if we do a for ch in name, ch will contain j first, then the next time through it'll contain u, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it'll go all the way through and get us from there. So now, when you access individual characters, you get an index error exception if you try to use an index that's out of range for the string. So, for example, if you're using a for loop with a range and you go beyond the range, you can use the length string function to retain the length of the string and use that to prevent loops from iterating beyond the end. Concatenation is the appending of one string to the other, the end of another string, using the plus operator. We've already gone over that, to produce a string that is a combination of its operands. You can use plus equal as well. Strings are immutable. What does that mean? Once they are created, they cannot be changed. Concatenation doesn't actually change either string. It creates a whole new string and assigns the new string to the previously used variable. You cannot use an expression of the form string sub index equals new character when index is beyond the string. This will raise an exception. You cannot assign them either because, again, they're immutable. We'd have to build a new one. So, name equals Carmen, for example, right? Name equals name plus Brown. We'll take the Carmen string and Brown, and we'll create a new string and assign it to name. We can also slice strings. It takes a span of items from a sequence known as a substring. Slicing format is string, start, end. The string will return a string up to, string containing a copy of the character from start, up to but not including end. It includes start but doesn't include end. If start isn't specified, 0 is used. If end is not specified, the length of the string is used. Slicing expressions can include a step value and negative indexes relative to the end of the string. So let's take a look at those. So in this example, now we're going to say let's say first equals name from 0 to 5, or 5, right? So now if we print it, we should, in theory, see the first name. Oops, again, I keep forgetting to save. All right. And it prints out Larry. Okay. Similarly, we say last equals name to 6, 16. And then we can print last. Okay, let's try this guy now. And again, it gives us the last name. So now we can also say blend name, so that way we don't have to actually know the length, right? And if we run this guy, we get the results we expect. We can also do this. We can omit the first thing and it'll start at 0, and it still works. And now we can come over here and omit the last thing, and it'll go to the length of the string. Pretty nifty, huh? Like we said in the video, we can also step through it. So let's say what we wanted to do is say mix equals name, so 0, len, name by 2's. Okay, we say that, we'll say print mix, and run this guy. You notice that, boom, we get let me clear this. And notice now, if we run it, we get my name only every other character. Okay. There are also ways we can test, search, and manipulate strings. You can use the in operator to determine whether one string is contained in another. So, string 1 in string 2. They can be either string literals or variables referencing strings. You can use the not in operator to go to the opposite direction. So let's take a look at that real quick. So, given our practice example, we can ask if Larry is in the name. And if it is, it'll print there's that. But we can also say Larry is not in the name. I can't type today. In name, save it. It won't say anything. Okay? Instead of Larry, you could use another variable there too. So from there, let's go on and talk about string function methods. Strings in Python have many different types of methods divided into different general types. We've got myString.method is the general format. Some methods test the string for specific characteristics and return true or false. So here's some specific ones. Is alphanumeric, which alnum returns true if the string contains only alphabetic and numeric characters, or and it's at least one character. Is alpha only alphabetical? Is lower? Is space? Is space is interesting in that it tests for new lines and tabs. It's any white space. Is upper returns if the whole string is upper, and so forth. Some methods return a copy of the string to which modifications have been made. These simulate strings as mutable objects. String comparisons are case sensitive. Uppercase characters are distinguished from lowercase characters. So if you say ABC is less than, quote, ABC in all caps, they aren't the same thing. Lower and upper can make case-insensitive comparisons. So here's some more methods. Lower returns a copy of the string lowered. Lstrip returns a copy of the string with all leading white strips taken out. Lstrip returns a copy string with all instances of char at the beginning ripped out. Our strip does the same on the rear end, and strip does it all across the string. Upper returns a copy of the string in all alphabetic letters. Okay. Several methods. Sometimes we need to search for substrings. So we can use an ends with method, checks if the string ends with substring. Starts with, same thing, but at the beginning. And we can use find, searches for a substring within the return, returns the lowest index of the substring, or if it's not contained, returns -1. Replace substring and new string returns a copy of the string where every occurrence of substring is replaced with new string. So here are those methods put together. And then we'll take a look at some. So now let's look at a slightly more generic way to do the same thing. Let's say we have a phrase. Right? And we wanted to break this down into a list of each word. Well, what we could do first is let's create our list. And we're going to set it to empty just so we know what we're doing. And then we can say we need to find the position of each space, but we're also going to need the last one so we chop up the right piece. So we'll say last equals 0. Right? And then we'll get the position of the first space. Equals info.find. And then we'll write a loop that says while pos doesn't equal the next one, while there's more stuff, then we can pad the word from last to pos. We're going to update last equal to pos plus 1, and then we will find the next space until we're done. All right, so now if we run this guy, we get this, oops, this is a string text. And it's being temperamental here, so. Actually, it's not being temperamental. I forgot to print. Print the list. So now let's save it again and run it. And this is a string. Except that we didn't catch the last part. And the reason we didn't catch the last part is because when we get here for the final time, when we hit test, there is no remaining space. So what do we have to do? After here, we need to say list.append info from the last character, from the last position to the end of the file. Now, if we save it and run it, we get the whole list like we expect. Okay. That said, from what we just did, there's a much easier way to do it, which I'll show in a second. The repetition operator makes multiple copies of a string and joins them together. Star is a repetition operator when applied to a string and an integer. So, string to copy times n will give you 5 copies of, or n copies of string times n as a new string. Okay, another useful operation, this one, is the split method. It returns a list containing the words in the string. By default, it uses space as a separator, but we can change that separator as well. So here, my string 1, 2, 3, 4, word list equals my string dot split word list. So this is a faster way to do what we just did. Here, we can change it to a slash. Okay. Sometimes string contains substrings that are separated by a special character. This character contains peach, raspberry, strawberry, and vanilla separated by a space. The substrings can be known as tokens, and the space between them is known as the delimiter. So in this case, the numbers would be the tokens, and the semicolon is the delimiter. Okay. Tokenizing is the process of breaking up a string into tokens. When you tokenize a string, you extract the tokens and store them as individual items. In Python, you can use the split method to tokenize items. So, for example, string equals peach, raspberry, strawberry, vanilla, tokens equals split, and then we see the tokens, and we'll get that result. So, coming back to our code, what can we do here instead of all this? It's pretty easy. get rid of all this and say list equals info.split based on space. Actually, if we want to go with the default of space, we don't have to do anything. We can just say this. Okay. So now, we save it and run it. We do the same thing in one line of code. So, for example, if these words were separated by commas now, we could say and this time we'd say split comma, right? And we run it. Oops. And we run it. There you go. This is a string test. And it does the same thing, but they're split by commas now. So then from here, you can go through and for I in list, print I, or do whatever you want with it. You can do all sorts of fun stuff. So that's an introduction to some higher functions of strings. And we'll have an assignment that deals with it next.